Hey everyone, welcome to week 0 of our AWS Bootcamp. My name is Chirag and I am excited as much as you are for this bootcamp. In next couple of weeks, you are going to build multiple demos and you will learn multiple AWS services, and you need to have your own AWS account to complete this bootcamp. We would like to utilize AWS free tier as much as possible. In today's video, we will learn about the basics of AWS pricing and how you can track the free tier. To give you a gist what free tier is, that when you sign up for new AWS account, certain services with certain limitation can be used freely, but we need to monitor that if we are going beyond those limitations, there will be charges. So we need to set up few basic things in your new AWS account. So the topic of today's video is to understand how to track free tier usage, as well as how to see where you will see the AWS bill. To setting up the billing alert is something important, as well as so we will touch about Cost Explorer, which is a bit advanced feature, and then we will use AWS Calculator link to estimate the cost for EC2 as an example. And then if you have any AWS credit, you can get AWS credit by utilizing their virtual event or attending any local AWS community meetup. So we'll see that how that experience look like in console, because I have that credit in my demo account, so I will show. And then we will talk about cost allocation tag, as well as we will end this video to understand that what services are free for 12 months and how you can check that what services are free forever in your account. So let's get started with our first demo about the free tier utilization and AWS billing walkthrough. So I am logged in my AWS account. If you can see, it's Singapore region, and this is my IAM user. I assigned the billing access to this IAM user. That is why I will be able to see the billing data. By default, IAM user will not have a billing access. So if you create your account, you will have a root user. Then you can, using your root user, you can see the billing data. So I'm going to the billing part here. In the search column, I'm just typing billing and clicking on it. It will show me the billing dashboard. So the user experience may be different because AWS is frequently updating their UI. So make sure that don't get confused if you don't see something like this. If you see some other experience, maybe it will give you the option to opt for the new user experience. So this account is relatively new, but yeah, few services I have set up to generate some activity in this account. The important part about this is that not all services are having the same pricing in all the regions. What I mean is the pricing varies according to the region. So make sure that you will select the right region wherever you want to spin up your service. That is the first part. And then when you go to the bills, you will see that the amount is in USD as well as in your local currency. I have selected my Indian payment method, that's why it is showing me in Indian rupees, but the USD will be also shown. Let me show my previous month bill, and maybe there is some activity if happened, and then yeah, you can see the amount is 0 and INR is 0 because I have some credits, that's why it is 0. But you got the idea that the conversion rate will apply on the date of invoice, and AWS to automatically exchange rate. So if you come to this page, and you will be able to see the services which is running in your account, or which is even it is terminated, so it will show as a line item in the bill. So I'm just clicking on the few services. You can see that I'm using this T4G small instance, which is free for this entire year. It is running for 695 hours, as well as there are a couple of other services which I have spin up, and it is showing according to that. In the coming weeks, as the more and more services you are going to spin up in your account, you will see a lot of line items here. Now second part, let's go to see that where you can track your free tier utilization. Click on this free tier link and you will see the services which you are using under your free tier, and it will show that the current uses and the forecasted uses. So here you can monitor if you spin up the multiple instance or multiple of those service, then you may cross 750 hours of the free utilization and you will get charged. So make sure on time to time basis just track and come on this link and see that how the free tier utilization is happening. Now next, let's set up the billing alert. So there are two ways to set up the billing alert. Let me show you the old method and the new method. So click on this billing preference and we will go to this page. If you want to receive the invoice by email, just click here. If you want to receive the alert, which I highly recommend for the free tier users, just click, and I'm just adding an email ID of mine, and if you want to receive the billing alert, make sure you just click save preferences and then click on this manage billing alert. As I mentioned earlier that there are two methods. One is the budget, which is a new feature, but this is the old method, still valid. So let's click on manage billing alert. So you will see a one difference. Let it load, because billing is something as a global construct. So to set up the CloudWatch alert for the billing, you need to make sure you are in Northern Virginia region, because the billing data will not show anywhere else in other regions. So I'm clicking on the alarm. In alarm right now there is no alarm set up in this account, so I'm just clicking create alarm, select metrics, and here it is showing billing. So I'm just selecting billing as well as total estimated charges, and after that I'm just selecting this select metric and clicking on it. So I can give a metric name if I want, AWS Bootcamp billing alert, and then some default data. So I want that if my account is going to cross $10 of spend, I will get alert, and I'm clicking next, and where it need to be, what it need to do. So yeah, it will be in the alarm state. You need to have a SNS topic. I don't have any SNS topic, so I am just creating like default like this, and we need to confirm our this email ID. So I will do it, and then yes, that's it. Click next and give billing alert. Because 10 alarms are free under the free tier, so we are good to set up this one alarm. Make sure if you set up this billing alarm, you will left with 9 alarms, which maybe you are going to utilize in your other services or other exercises. So let me see, where is this alarm? It is having an insufficient data. It will take couple of minutes and it will then show up here in all alarms state. So here you can see it is showing, and it will take couple of minutes. Okay, let's go to the second part, that you can utilize AWS budgets. You can select it under this cost management category. Click on budgets, and I have set up a one cost budget here. You can see this is something confusing, sometimes confusing. Here it is showing global, and when we set up the CloudWatch alarm, we need to be in Northern Virginia region. Okay, so I'm going to create a budget. The difference between is the alarm will just send only, or you will receive only the mail when it will cross that threshold. But in budget, it is little bit advanced feature, and we will get 2 budgets free of cost. If you are going to spend if you are going to set up the multiple budgets, then it may be chargeable. So make sure do not set more than 2 budgets. Like I have set up one in the account, and I'm just trying to set up one here. Maybe I'm just going to put as monthly cost budget, and I'm just saying my monthly cost budget, or my AWS Bootcamp budget, my AWS Bootcamp BUDGT budget, and then again I'm setting $10 because that is what max I want to, and then I'm putting my email ID here. Okay, and then it will send us multiple alerts when our threshold or actual spend reaches 85% and 100%, and then if there is any forecasted to reach. And here I'm creating. So that is a simple way, and highly recommended that you set up this before spinning up any other service. Now after doing this, let's talk about cost allocation tags, because tags are something which is free form of text. It is key value pair. Let me take take you to the EC2 service, and I will show that what I'm talking about. So I have set up the 2 instances. Let's say in this account you have a one production application, one development application, and at the end of a month you need to know that what is the cost or estimated cost occurred for dev application and what is the cost occurred for production application. Obviously this is a small infrastructure and this is single account, but think like if there is a big infrastructure spin up and multiple business units are utilizing your AWS, be it in the same account or maybe it's a landing zone or multi-account structure. So tagging will helpful to figure out that how much nearby cost is there. So I'm just clicking and I'm going to show you the tags. So here you can see I have added, again it's free form text. If you want to add something else, let's say region or something, if you want to use it, so just save it, and then later in the billing console you will be able to track and utilize. Let me go back to billing console and then let me see about cost allocation tags. So at this moment it will take, like I added the region tag, it will take some time to pop up in this list, but you can see the tags which I showed you, the owner, name, environment, and this is created by AWS Workspace, and some AWS generated cost allocation tag. Let's say I want to activate it. I request that you activate these tags so that in the later stage we will perform some cost activity and we will try to learn, because this is something which will help you in your real world job. So this is bit about cost allocation tag, and let's talk now about Cost Explorer. Earlier I mentioned it is bit advanced feature, so but it will be helpful to figure out if again there are multiple departments, multiple services, especially for if you want to track that how much the reservation or savings plan, which is a bit advanced level in the costing, because AWS is pay per use service, but there are different pricing mechanism which will be helpful to save the cost. So to calculate all this, to prepare the report, especially for the finance team, this Cost Explorer will be helpful. So this is the homepage of Cost Explorer and you will see something like this. Let me click here, Cost Explorer, and if you want to track or calculate or see that the different time range, I'm just selecting because this account is new, I have created in first week of January, so I'm just putting January month and I'm selecting, and if I would like to see the daily, you can see the granularity level, even if hourly is there, but for hourly it will show only last 14 days of, but yeah, I believe this will take some time, but okay, let's stick with the daily data. And as I showed you, that account didn't have too much services and that's why the data is little bit low. So but you can change different region, different instance type, and again the cost category and tags which I showed, it will be helpful to calculate from here. And I'm just clicking the services, and then different filters you can apply if you want to include, exclude in the cost and other things. The important part here is by default there are some reports which we can generate, and according to your need, and trust me, in the real life this will be really helpful. So just explore this while you will learn in coming weeks. Next, let's talk about another small feature. If you have any AWS credits, how you are going to apply and how it will look like in the console. So I am clicking on credits under this billing category, and because I had credits, I applied this $25 voucher which I got after attending some event. So if you have voucher, just click and paste and you will see the line item like this. And then make sure that that voucher will, maybe it will be applicable to few services but not all, so make sure to check the list which will get the coverage under that voucher terms and condition. And now let's go to the important part. When you see the AWS cost, let me show AWS EC2 pricing, and then I'm just going to the EC2 pricing, clicking on demand. Here I would like to show a very important tip. Make sure you follow it properly. So let's say I'm just selecting it for Singapore, okay, and it will show me, and I would like to select some M6 high large. So it is showing me the hourly cost, on demand hourly cost is 12 cent. So now let's try to calculate that how much it will cost in a given month, because a given month can be 720 hours or 744 hours. But let's see how the AWS showing the pricing in their calculator. So I'm just multiplying this with 720. You can see 86.4 cents, or if we multiply our this amount with 744, it will show 89.28. So let's see what AWS calculator will show. I will open the AWS calculator. Make sure you will click on calculator.aws, and we will try to create the same scenario in the calculator. I selected Singapore region here, and then I'm selecting EC2 service. We will learn about this calculator in our upcoming exercises. So if this is the first time, just see the basics. Okay, I'm just selecting, this is a shared tenancy Linux and number of instance 1, and I'm selecting M6I. Okay, that was the instance which we selected. Here you will see, don't get confused, because this calculator is very useful tool and there will be lot of options. So we need to go to the on demand price, and here you will see it is showing 87.60. In calculator I showed you, if we calculate for 744 hours it will be 89.28, and if 720 hours then it will be near around 86 point something. But in AWS calculator, why it is showing 87.60? So the concept here is AWS calculator provide the estimated cost for 730 hours. It's not for 720, it's not for 744, but it's for 730 hours. So let's try to now calculate for 730 hours, and we will see the same amount, 87.6 and 87.6. So this is again the estimated cost, but in the actual invoice it will be according to the days in the month. If it ran for 720 hours, then the cost will be according to 720 hours. If it will be for 744 hours, according to that the cost. But in AWS calculator it will show the average of both months nearby 730 hours. So make sure you will clear with this concept, and this will be helpful. And now let's go to understand AWS free tier. So just search AWS free tier, you will land to the page, and this is the landing page of AWS free tier. You will see various categories, and it's more than 100 plus services and features which are covered under free tier. But if you see, there are filters which is saying 12 months free, always free, and trials. You need to be aware and get familiar yourself that what services are under trial and what services are under free tier. So I request everyone to spend some time on this page by playing with these filters. I'm just clicking on this 12 months free, and you will see some options will change, and then it will show the services which will under free tier. So here we are talking about EC2, it will give 750 hours. I told you that it's 744 hours or 720 hours. AWS calculator will show the cost for 730 hours. But if you spin up the multiple instances of this size, and if it will cross aggregated 750 hours, there will be charges in your bill, in your monthly bill. So make sure to terminate it, and make sure that how you are going to utilize the instances for your activities. It is important that to terminate. If you forgot, you may get a bill. It may happen that if you raise the AWS support ticket, they may refund you back if you have spun up the service mistakenly, but that's not always the case. It's your responsibility to make sure to clean the environment post performing the task. So just read about all these services which you are going to use, and same way I'm selecting always free tier, and you will see the different services which will be free forever, like DynamoDB, 25 GB of DynamoDB storage, as well as 25 write capacity unit and read capacity units are free forever in your account, regardless of whether you are going to use it after 1 year or when. And the same with Amazon CloudFront, which is the CDN service. 1 TB of data transfer out is free forever. So you can use this CDN regardless of if your infrastructure is hosted somewhere, but you have a free CDN service. And then covering this trial part, if you click and you will see it's mentioned that SageMaker is for 2 months, and then another conditions and restrictions are there. Make sure you get familiar about this. And then Amazon Redshift, which is their data warehouse service, it will give this DC2 large node for 2 months. So even if you create your account today, it doesn't mean it will expire in 2 months. This 2 months will start from the day you will set up your first data warehouse, this Redshift service, for this configuration. So that's about the basics of AWS billing, and I believe this is helpful. If you have any question, feel free to drop in the chat and we will try to address that. Thank you so much and see you next week. Bye bye.